Good morning, everyone. Glenda Mollet here, and I'm in my craft room stamping with you this morning. I'm a bit late, but time got away from me this morning. Apparently, my body didn't want to get out of bed. So, here I am finally. And so we're going to make this oh so pretty Christmas card. And now this one was inspired from Gail Ellis somewhere on the internet. There's the envelope. And here's the inside. I love this little house. And it's so versatile, you don't have to only use it in the snow globes. So we're going to do a bunch of die cutting today and use these really pretty star elements. The recipe is, the ink we're using is Night of Navy and Shaded Spruce. And then maybe some Wink Stella on the trees. I haven't really decided yet. Night of Navy card base, 8.5 by 5.5, wrapped in plaid designer paper, 2 pieces, 4 by 2 and 5/8, so they can be any coordinating paper. I use the wrapped in plaid. Some Whisper White, 3 by 5.25, and then 2 by 2.5 if you want to have a white animal here. Or this, I use the sparkle glimmer paper, and it's really pretty. Some Shaded Spruce to cut the trees out. The snow globe dies, stitched label die, stitched nested label dies, sorry. Just checking my computer to make sure everybody can see me the right orientation. The Greatest Part of Christmas stamp set, Come Together ribbon, and some star embellishments. Now inside I used the Still Scenes as well. Okay, put my envelope out of the way. We'll put this here so everybody can see. Oh, hi Dawn. Nice that you could join me today. Thank you so much. Okay, so the products we're using. This is the Greatest Part of Christmas stamp set. It's a host set. So the only way to get this is if you have a personal or a party order that's over $200 and you qualify for Hostess Rewards, you get to order this stamp set. And we're going to use this one. May this Yuletide season be filled with joy. But there's lots of other ones. Look at this beautiful big Christmas. And this, I love the fonts in this. It's so cool. All right, moving on. Still Scenes stamp set. Excuse me. Here's the house I'm using for the inside. And the coordinating, snow globe scenes dies. Now I already have some of them out because we're going to be using them. So it comes with the part circle to cut out the snow globe. And I don't think I have one here to show you. And then a couple of churches. And they kind of layer with each other. This makes the base, and we're not using that. But this cuts the house out if you're planning on using the house. There's also a set of triple trees, the deer, and a couple of cute little polar bears. Well, they're polar bears if you do them white. They're brown bears if you do them brown. And they are grizzly bears. They don't really have the hump, but it could be whatever kind of bear you wanted. So those are the dies. And then we're going to use the stitch nested label dies, the largest one. Okay, so I have those all out ready on a piece of magnetic sheet. We're going to use the star embellishments as well to put, because it just needs something there. All right, so this is part of the, I think it's called, Come Together ribbon. It comes in a 2-pack. So there's this one, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's feels really good in the center. And then it also comes with this twine. Mine aren't on the original spool, so I can't really show you the name, but it comes as a 2-pack. And we're just going to be using a piece of this one. So there's my card base. I'm just going to put it to the side. Then there's 2 pieces of Whisper White, 5.25 by 4. One piece is for the inside. this piece we're going to build the card front on, because I find it easier to layer the designer paper pieces onto the card front, or a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of cardstock, to wrap the ribbon around. It just gives it a bit more sturdiness. So we're going to do that on the white one. And then this I'm going to cut out. And I think I'm going to do the bears this time rather than the deer, just to show you the difference. This piece we're going to cut the trees out of, and then this one is to cut the background tag out of. So I have my die cutting machine right here. I'll just get the magnetic platform and we'll set up some die cuts. Cut the trees. Cut the polar. Now these cut really good through this, but if you have issues, then you can always turn it over and have the cutting side up, and that just helps things cut a little better. And I'm being cheap so that I can use the paper again for another project. Okay, let's get the pieces off. I'm going to turn this one around so that I can put the label on, and I can die cut everything at the same time. Okay, don't know why I talk like that, but anyways. Okay, let's get these die cut. This quick whip through the machine. So there's one set of trees. And now I have to put it back on to cut the other set. And the polar bears. And I'll get them out of there in a sec. And then we have the tag. There we go. So I'm just going to run this through and get my second set of trees. Well, I'll get the paper off of the back of the magnetic plate first. Do you ever have stuff go missing on your craft room table? I do all the time. And it's the silly stuff like that. Like it gets statically attached to the back of my magnetic platform, or the new cling stamps are super clingy. And if you have them hanging around your craft room by themselves and you put something on top of them, yeah, they get attached to it. So I've found stamps on the back of ink pads. I've found them inside a package of paper. They just go walkabouts all on their own. Okay, we have our pieces now. And the first thing to do is put adhesive on the back of the designer paper. Oh. Okay, that's not, oops, that's not good, because then you can't see the card. So I have my current host code up here. If I can help you place an order, I'm happy to do that. If you use the current host code, that just helps me keep up with my free stuff that I give away all the time. I have an ongoing draw board, so every time your order is $60 or more, you get your name on the draw board. And you can get it, I don't quite know why that one's got white stuff all over it. It's weird. Can you see it in there? So with every $60 in one order, your name will go on the draw board, which means if you have $60, it goes on once. If you have $120, it goes on twice. And then when the board is full, then I draw for somebody to win. And this time around, it's the entire Pretty Peacock or Noble Peacock or whatever you call them suite. So let me show you that. Dig out my catalog here. And in the front. Now, this is in the annual catalog. The front, there's a bundle index. And so we'll go to page 25. Oops, you probably can't see that. There. So there's the bundle, and it's on page 25. So if we go there, there we are. There's the Noble Peacock suite of products. Look at those. Look at those colors. Ah! I'm going to be doing a peacock class. I just haven't got there yet. So you're going to win all of this stuff. You get the stamp sets, the dies, the beads and baubles embossing folder, the Noble Peacock specialty designer paper, the Noble Peacock foil, some Old Olive Pretty Peacock reversible ribbon, and the Noble Peacock rhinestones. You get all of those. Look at the price. $124.75 plus shipping and taxes. And all that can be yours for placing an order. Okay. Enough nattering. Let's get on. I really need to focus here. Focus. I was frustrated last night. I was trying to do a card with a technique, and I wasted 3 snow globes trying to get the technique, and I never did get it. So now I don't know whether I'm going to continue or whether I'm going to just say goodbye and not do it. So I'm just lining this up with the bottom because you don't want any of the white to show. If you have a gap in the middle, you're going to cover that up with the ribbon anyways. But if you do happen to get things not situated properly, all we have to do is just cut afterwards. I'm going to turn it around and we'll put the other piece on. Yeah, focus. So back to my disaster. Finally, after the 3rd try last night, I said to myself, stop. You're wasting stuff for nothing, and this is not working out. You need to walk away. So turn my computer off, and I walked away. Now, see, this one is overlapping on the end, so I'm just going to pull that up and just fold it over like that. And then this one is right on top of that one, which is going to make it difficult to get that liner off. So I'm just going to remove that little bit of liner. There we go. All right, we're set up. Now, I'm not going to worry about meeting in the middle because I want the edges and the end to be covered as much as I can. And then, see, there may be a gap or something. There's a little one there, but that's okay because, as I said, we're covering it with the ribbon. Whoops. Uh-oh. Apparently I lost that rabbit ear. It ripped. So let's just start another one. And I noticed that there's a little bit hanging out there. There we are. So there's the... Apparently my voice is gravelly today too. Okay, so now we're going to put the ribbon across the middle like that. Now to do that, if you remember from previous videos, you just put a strip of tape on the back and then remove the liner. Put the ribbon on and get it lined up where you want it. And then you just fold it back so that it sticks on top of that tape there. And you can get it. You can use your grid paper too if you want to get things lined up so that they're straight. I don't have my grid paper with the numbers today, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging to get things matching, but I can try. Sure, right there. How's that? It's movable. Okay, it's crooked. Yeah, I'm not happy. But it's movable. All I have to do is just tear it up. Oh my goodness, really? Apparently it's going to be one of those days. There we are. Now, when you put your adhesive on the back piece, I just had a piece break off on my finger and now it won't let go. When you do your adhesive on the back, go right over top of that ribbon and your ribbon will never move. It will always stay on there. Doing this technique, I have not had ribbon come up for probably 10 years now since I discovered this little trick. Okay, now let's make sure that there's no white hanging around. And to do that, where's my card base? I'm just going to do this and make sure, see there's a little tiny bit right there. Probably should have cut this before I put the ribbon on, but I'm just going to try to cut only that little tiny bit of white. And if you see, I'm kind of angling my scissors. Come on, just a tiny bit more without cutting the ribbon. There we are. There, that's better. Yes, I am OCD and proud to admit it. All right, I'm going to put this onto our card base now. There we are. So how has your weather been? We had such rain yesterday and last night. Oh my, it was a torrential downpour. Card opening properly, yes. Well, it was a good thing that I didn't have to go and do much yesterday, just my flu shot. And we spent the last weekend, well, 5 days, we stretched our weekend out. Because working for myself, I can do that. We went camping with our local grandchildren and their parents. Yeah, we allow the parents to come every once in a while. Okay, so now we're going to build this on here. So I'm just going to remove the card base for a sec. Now we have 2 polar bears and 2 sets of trees. Take this little piece out, and I didn't use Wink of Stella on there, so let's use it on this one. When you pick your Wink of Stella up, always give it a really good shake. It just helps to get everything mixed together in there. So it doesn't take too long to do. Oh, look at how pretty those are. Oh my. Oh my. Now somebody said I could put some white paint on these trees and make it like snow, and you could do that, but you could also use the new puff paint. So maybe we'll do that. I'm going to put Wink of Stella on these trees, and then I'll get the puff paint out, because we haven't, I don't think we played with puff paint on a video yet. Okay, there's 1 set of trees, and it's fun to use. And there's definitely a right way and a not so right way to use the puff paint. It's not a wrong way, it just doesn't puff up as high and puffy when you, apparently my Wink of Stella is getting dry. Uh-oh, where'd my other one go? I had another one, I don't know where it is. But you guys get the idea, right? Yeah, it's time for a new Winky. And you can tell, if you hold it up to the light, you can see if there's any liquid in there, but apparently there still is, so let's just There it comes. You just squeeze it. It says push here, so you just gently squeeze it to get more ink down onto the brush part. There we go. But make sure you've shaken it really well, because otherwise it'll come out a bit gray. Okay, that's done. So now, what can I use? I want to put them on something. And now I'm going to find my puff paint. There it is. So this is the Snowfall Accents puff paint. And on the back it says, shake well before using, apply in a thin line, then heat with a heat tool to puff the paint. Don't wait for it to dry, because it won't puff once it's dry. So give it a good shaky, 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 shaky. I'm just getting a plastic plate here, so I can do these on this. These plates are a wonderful dollar store find, and it comes out. So we're just going to do on the edges just a little bit of puff paint, and you want it to be quite liquid. And you just put it wherever you want. See, it goes on really easy. I'm just gently squeezing. Whoops, that's a bit much. Oh well. We'll have a lot of snow on these trees. These can be the front ones, because there's two sets of trees, one on the front and one towards the back. There we go. Just about done here, and I'm going to put a little bit down here, but not in the one I'm going to put in the back. Okay, so you've got that. Now we need the heat gun. And there's my heat gun. I just need to plug it in here. Oh, I would have had this already, but I didn't have this brainstorm till we were halfway through the video. Okay, so there's the trees. And we'll put the, I hope you can still hear me. So I'm going to hold on to it, and then you hold on to the heat gun about an inch away and just hold it. Don't wiggle it around. See how it's starting to puff there? And then once it starts to puff, I'm burning my finger, so I'm getting my pokey tool. Once it starts to puff, then you just kind of run it along and see it puffing. It's really cool stuff. I love it. It's a lot of fun to work with. So there's one set of trees. Whoops. These ones are not cooperating. Sit, stay. There we go. I'm trying not to talk because sometimes you can't hear. There we are. Turn off. Okay. So now we have our trees, and they're okay to touch once you've finished cooking them. They're all right to touch. And the Winkastella is still on there. So I'm going to layer them on top of each other like that and put them on the label. Now somebody asked me yesterday at my seniors class if there's a right and a wrong way of die cuts when you have stitching especially, but there's always a right and a wrong side of a die cut. So the way you tell is if you look at the edge, it's nicely folded over here. Got kind of a little rounded edge, and the stitch marks are poked in. If you turn it over, you see there's a bit of a ledge, an edge there. That's the back side, and then these are poking up, not poking down. So that's how you can always tell with die cut, whether it's right or not. Okay, so time for some stamping. Just move my bits out of the way. We're going to stamp the sentiment on the front. And I'm doing that first because the trees can move up and down, but it's hard to get your sentiment in there if you haven't left room for it. Then I'd have to improvise and, I don't know, cut a piece out, put it on top maybe. But I remembered. Yay. Okay, so now we need to put a little bit of Tombow. Now this is the back one, so I can put Tombow everywhere just to help it hold like that. All right, so where's my card base? There it is. I'm going to put this on here where I want it ish, so that this one I've moved the ribbon down a little bit. Can you see that? It's down probably almost half an inch from the original one. So it's not going to look exactly the same, but it's okay. It cannot be the same. I'm going to put it right there. Now I'm putting it right over to the edge, because then we're going to put the other one on top of it and it's going to go over to the other edge. Okay, so this one, because it's going to pop up over top of this puff paint, I don't want to put any adhesive on the trees, just on the base. So we'll put some Tombow on the base, like that. And then just, I'm going to have to figure out where it's going to look the best. There we are. Now I'm just going to hold this for a couple of minutes. Now this, I probably could have put dimensionals underneath that. So where did I put my dimensionals? I know I got them out. There they are. Get my pokey tool, and I think I'm going to pop a dimensional onto the back of the trees so they don't get caught on anything. So I'm just attaching it to the tree. There we are. Okay, and one for the other little tree, and then I'm going to look and see where the big one sits, if I can put a whole dimensional behind it or just a part. But this one's okay. There we are. Those two are down. Now let's have a look underneath here. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to put a whole tree or a whole dimensional in there, just a part of one. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of here. Thank goodness for paper piercing tools. I know I should be using the one that's current, the big one that's on the tool, take your pick tool. But it wasn't handy, and this is handy. Okay, so there we go. That's all done. Now I'm going to put some dimensionals at the top and at the bottom. I'm going to use some big ones. And you don't want to put it where the ribbon is. You want it to float over top of that ribbon. As there's nothing worse than having a card with a hump in the middle where the dimensionals are trying to go up over top of the ribbon. See, that's going to sit right there like that. Oh, that's pretty with the white snow on it. I wish I'd have had this yesterday at my seniors group. They would have loved playing with this. We'll have to remember next week we'll do a card with it. Okay, so now I'm going to put it here. How does that look? I'm just going to look to make sure it's straight. Yep, looks good. Okay, there we are. So now the only thing that we have left to do are the bears. That cute little polar bears. They're going to be there and there, or somewhere and somewhere. So let's get the small dimensionals again. So glad Stamping Up came out with these mini dimensionals. Makes life so much easier than having to cut the big ones all the time. Okay, now I'm going to use some really thin strips because I want to be able to do the legs as well. Yeah, this is another part of my OCD. Itty bitty pieces. I did a class a couple of weeks ago, and when I let loose sometimes on cards, it gets really fiddly. Not everybody likes fiddly, so I usually have to tone myself down, but I didn't for that one card, and the ladies told me it had a lot of pieces. They're nice about it. It's not like anybody was nasty. It's just that it was a good thing it was an all-day class. Because as you can see, sometimes my pieces get fiddly. Out, get off my finger. Now you get down in between those two. Okay, so now we have our dimensionals on our bears. Let's see where we're going to put them. Now, if I do that, he's going to be hanging. So let's just move them down a bit. There we go. All right. Backing off the dimensionals. All the little itty bitty pieces too. Oh, stuck. Yeah, so it's not only the itty bitty pieces I use a lot, it's the dimensionals. But you don't have to do this part. This part is completely up to you. You don't have to have dimensionals down their legs if you don't want. And put the little baby one right there. There we go. Look at that. Look at the difference. Doesn't that snow just make the trees? I love it. Okay, let's stamp the inside. So we have the house, and we're going to do that in shaded spruce. Oops. Wrong stamp. Where's my house? Where's my house? Did I put it back in here? No, I did not. Uh-oh. So that's the sentiment. This is the inside sentiment. Apparently my house is MIA. Not still in the basket. Not in that stamp set. It should live right there. It's not in that stamp set. Oh, isn't that the weirdest thing? Okay, remember what I said about things going missing? It's so easy. Okay, well, I'm not going to look for it anymore. I'll just stamp the sentiment and we'll figure something out. Okay, so here's the sentiment. May the timeless message of Christmas fill your heart and home with joy, today and always. And I'm doing that in Night of Navy. Pardon my head. I was trying to get things lined up here. I'm still looking for my house. Don't know where my house went. Okay. Well, let's look in here, see if there's something. Nope, there's nothing in there I can use. And there's nothing in there I can use. We can use a tree. We use a tree. Block. Sometimes this happens in my classes too. The weirdest things go missing, and then I'm just looking on the bottom of my ink pads to see if it got stuck back there. But it was on a block. So, all right. So we're going to improvise and we're going to use the tree. This tree comes from Perfectly Plaid stamp set. And I'm going to stamp it off. So I'm just going to get my scrap paper here. And stamp a tree. Just like that. And we'll do the envelope while we're here. There we are. We'll put the adhesive on the back of the inside piece so we can get it in. And oh, it's a bit long today. Sorry, I didn't mean to be. I like my videos to be about a half an hour. Under the cards. Yeah, good idea, Jean. But I thought it was on a block. So, I don't know. But then I was using it last night. So it's probably up. Oh, there it is. I see it. When I cleaned up from my failure last night, I piled everything on a table, and I just looked over there, and there it is. The house is sitting over there. But that's okay, because I like the tree, too. Sometimes my things decide they need to be other than where I put them. But apparently this one I put there last night. Okay. So you can use this Still Scenes bundle without the snow globes themselves. There we are. Oh, it looks pretty with that tree in there. What do you think? Oh, it was a happy boo-boo. There's the original one, and there's the one we made today. Now, just let me see if I can find a snow globe card. Here's one. I've prepped for classes, so some of my cards are in my prepped spot. So here's one using the church pieces, and I've layered them together, and the snow globes themselves, so they stick up. This in Canada, this fits through the, what do they call it? It's not the letter, it's the oversized letter. You've got 3/4 of an inch in thickness, and this will fit in there. So that's one of the, these are the same dies and stamp. This stamp set is from Twall Christmas, that stamp there that we used. I love shaker cards. I defy anyone to pick up a shaker card and not shake it, because you know it's so much fun. Anyways, this is for a class I'm having next week. We're doing 3 Christmas cards. We're doing this one, and we're doing this one, and we're doing this one. There's still room in the class. It's Thursday, October the 24th at either 1 o'clock or 6:30. If you'd like to join us, just shoot me a message. Or if you would like the kit to go, I also do card kits to go. And you'll get everything, all the bits and pieces and embellishments you need to create the card in your kit, mailed to your house. So you can put them all together. If you are going to put an order in, please use my host code. This is good until the 20th, which is Sunday, and then I'm going to start a new one. Please use the host code. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put my star on there. Need to do that. I know there's lots of bling on this. Okay, they're not coming out. Come on. Oh, I'm just going to get one of the stars, and these are self-adhesive. Just put it right there. There we are. So don't forget, you place an order with me, your name goes in a draw with every $60. Uh-oh, I forgot to put Do Not Disturb. Sorry. Yes, I like the tree too, Jean. Oh, thanks, Dawn. They're a lot of fun to make. I love that puff paint. It's one of those wow factors. It's like embossing. When you first start making cards and you first showed the heat embossing, it sticks with you forever. And that's what got me hooked. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please drop me an email at gjmollet@shaw.ca. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.